early on in your business, you're very likely going to need to and want to understand how every aspect of your business works, right? This is helpful because
if you want to get high, let's meditate.
Hey guys, Andrew McFarland here from StartAJuiceBar.com. Hope you are feeling awesome. Hope you are making progress and strides in your juice business. I wanted to talk to you guys today about time management. Before we dive into it, I just want to say thank you for all of those of you out here who have subscribed to the channel and are pressing the like button. It really helps spread the message so that more people can figure out tools, tips, and strategies to launch juice bars successfully. So, why is time management important? We know that this is an important quality in life, but I wanted to share some key insights and things that I learned about managing my time as I spent more time in this industry and running my own businesses. As they say, time is money, and so clearly the more time you have to invest your energy in areas that are higher value, the more money you can make in your business. Okay, so the key to positioning yourself well in your business so that you have the time to invest in the appropriate areas is delegation. This is so key. I could speak about this at length, and I'm going to do my best to abridge this conversation. But when running a business, you have to realize it, and what I'm going to share with you now is actually in this book, one of my favorite books on business called The E-Myth. So if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend you read this book. Basically what the E-Myth says is that there are 3 positions in any company. The first position is a technician, the second position would be a manager, and the third position would be the entrepreneur. What are the differences between these roles? Okay, someone who is a technician in the world of juice would be the people who are actually creating the product. Okay, the people who are managing are making sure that the product gets created appropriately, right? The entrepreneur is creating the systems for the manager to manage and for the technicians to execute, okay? So what happens is a lot of times in the world of people starting juice bars is people don't think of themselves as entrepreneurs, even though they might. What I'll say is this: people think of themselves as being entrepreneurs, but they actually aren't functioning as entrepreneurs. They're actually functioning as technicians who own a business, or at best, managers who have a business. You don't really have a successful business, in my perspective, until your business can run without you. And yes, there are going to be things that only you can do, like writing certain checks and things of this nature. But in general, where if you can run your business remotely, I would say that you have a successful business. If you have something that you constantly have to be there for and are constantly having to caretake, as some people would say, is you have a glorified job. Now, it's not to say that you might not desire to work in and on your business in a more hands-on fashion for a longer period of time. That's fine, as long as it's your choice. But being forced into that situation is not ideal. So what I'm going to share with you now is really a mind state and some tips and tools to think about in the approach of running your juice bar that will hopefully free up some of your time. So as I was mentioning in delegation, and in this whole analogy of the E-Myth, is early on in your business, you're very likely going to need to and want to understand how every aspect of your business works, right? This is helpful because, in my perspective, you can't manage things that you don't know. You can't know everything, but the more you know, the more you can manage. So if you don't know how to make your recipes, how are you going to know whether or not they're being made appropriately or not? Okay? So it's important in the first phase of running and opening your juice bar to really get familiar with as many aspects of your business as possible, all the while not getting stuck in any individual position in your business that doesn't allow you to make higher level decisions in orchestrating the direction of your business. Now, granted, everyone out there is working with different budgets, and so that's fine. You may be working in your business for quite a much longer period of time than most people before you get the opportunity to work on your business, but it's important to know where you are going and what your goals are, okay? So whenever you are functioning as the technician, or I should say as the entrepreneur disguised as the technician, meaning maybe you are making the drinks, maybe you are taking customer orders, maybe you're doing the inventory and all of the above, you are doing this from the vantage point of asking yourself, how can I teach someone else to do this? And what systems can I put in place to ensure that this is being done well? Okay? So it's one thing, let's say, for example, you're making the recipes, and you have all these recipes in your head, but you don't have them written down. Well, if you're the only person making the recipes, then it doesn't matter. But when you start to hire a staff, you need to have a system on how do you educate your staff on the recipes, how do you make sure that they have support in the process of making the drinks, and then how do you ensure that the drinks are being made well and consistently every single time, okay? And this might be, just as a little hint, you might have a set of images in terms of what the drinks are supposed to look like, because if the recipes are actually made well, they will look almost exactly the same every single time in terms of consistency and color hue, okay, meaning the color that the actual drink comes out to be. If there's more of any specific ingredient, it's going to change the color hue and very likely change the consistency. Okay, so this is one system that you can put into place. But as a general note, you want to be sure to have systems for everything, even down to how your staff gets trained. Okay, this is why for me in my business, I also created training manuals. This started to create a standard of when someone got hired, I knew what they were learning, when they were learning it, and how much they should know after a 7-day period of time. Okay, so be aware that in the world of time management, the thing that is going to save you the most time is having proper systems. Because the thing that will drain your time running this business is finding out that there are a lot of questions that the staff is asking, that the customers are asking, that you could probably create a manual for, so that people aren't calling you constantly asking you the answers to these questions. So write everything down, have conversations, and delegate, 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 delegate. Okay. That's the main principle. Another little tip that I want to give you before I end this video is a big mistake I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs make running this kind of business is they will plan their days and have 100% of their schedule committed, meaning that there's not really an hour of the day that they have kept open just in case miscellaneous things come up. And I want to invite and encourage you and really impress this upon you all. Do not schedule out your days 100%. Keep 25% of your days for the unknown, because there are going to be a lot of things that come up, especially early on, that you haven't planned for. And if you have extra bandwidth to take care of these problems, you won't begin dropping a lot of balls, right? What that means is if your day, for example, is allocated 100% and something comes up that is pretty important and you don't have the time or the bandwidth to take care of that thing, the decision you have to make is, what ball am I going to allow to drop? What am I going to be sacrificing? Something is going to go wrong, and the question is, which one is it? Is it going to be this or going to be that? Whereas if you actually plan your day to have a little bit of extra time, the good news is if something doesn't go wrong, you've got that time and you can invest it any way that you want to improve your business. But if something does, you've already planned for it. And you've got the time, you've got the space, you've got the mental energy to take care of it. So trust. Things are not going to go the way that you plan them to 100% of the time. That's life. The question in your success is not going to be how everything goes according to plan, but how you respond to those situations. So having extra time through creating systems, through delegation, and through allotting 25% of your day to be open and free will support you in making sure that you respond to these situations appropriately and you continue to grow your business and thrive ultimately. So that's the message for today. I hope this is supportive to you guys. There's so many more things that I could share. And so with that, obviously, if you feel called to, feel free to reach out to me, Andrew at StartAJuiceBar.com. If you have anything to add to this conversation, you can put in the comments box below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. And if you haven't joined the mailing list and you want the free ebook, this is a whole guide on the 15 steps to starting a juice bar. You can download it. There's a link below. All right. Hoping you guys are doing well. This is Andrew McFarlane, and I will see you guys very soon.